Hello everyone, welcome to today's unboxing video, and we are looking at this, the Arma Hobby Hurricane Mark II-C. I was going to call it Hawker Hurricane because that's what it is, but it doesn't mention it anywhere on the box. And you don't have to be particularly observant to notice that the box is in less than pristine condition. That is because I purchased this kit second-hand and the description was that the box was fair. But we'll go into the value and what I paid for it and how and when after we've had a little look inside. And we'll do that after we've had a look outside. We have a product code over here, 70036. Model kit, Arma Hobby, with a turtle on it. Contains one plastic kit with decals, Hurricane Mark II-C, and this, quite frankly, beautiful drawing, painting, artwork of a Hurricane II-C. And in nice sizable letters, 1/72 there, telling you what scale it is. On this long edge, it tells us that it was made in Poland, and we have an address, a customer care email, not to be given as a present to people under 14 apparently. It is recyclable, and some general information there in both English and Polish. The other long edge has nothing but the artwork and just what's inside, which is a kit and of course the barcode. And the shop edges are the same but mirror image. We've got a big sticker over this one because it was pre-owned. Again, we'll talk about that when the time comes. Oh no, it's not even flipped, is it? No, it is exactly the same shop edge both sides. There we go. On the back, it tells us what schemes we have, or at least two of them. I don't know if it's got more, but there we go. They are both Polish Hawker Hurricane II-Cs. Right, now as the kit is basically bursting to come out the box, which is tatty on both sides, I'm just going to grant its wish. And this is what we are presented with. Everything is in a sticky end opening bag, including the instructions, and I hope the decals. Very quickly, we'll obviously look at it again properly, but the clear sprue was in the same bag, not separately wrapped or anything as the rest of the plastic. Just in case I forget to mention that shortly, that's how it came out. The instructions then, oh, I can already see that the decals are falling out, so we'll take those out, put them there. The instructions have a warning at the top in both English and Polish. We've got a warning and we have a history of the Hawker Hurricane if you want to pause to read that. In case you don't know, it's a very famous plane. We have acknowledgements to some people and the colours, which is done by a letter system. Not great, but it does give you multiple brands, so it at least tells you, it looks like they've got all options for all, yeah, similar colour. So it highlights that there's not a life colour for Insignia Red that's as accurate as the others, but it mentions here we've got interior grey green, night black, gunmetal, matte silver, etc, etc, as Hataka, AK, life colour, ammo, Humbrol, Vallejo and Tamiya. Very nice that it gives you all of those options. It's not prioritising one brand over the other, even if it has had to approximate. Also nice to see life colour being mentioned. They're not as big a brand as I feel that they should be. The life colour paints that I've used have been excellent. Some basic instructions there and a sprue map, including the decals. And right at the bottom of page 1, it has a template for making your own paint masks. Look at that. Obviously, it would be easier to just have a paint mask, but at least it's giving you that information should you need it. And standard for me, I'm not going to be going into every single piece and discussing everything being glued into it. We're just going for the general impression. I'd like to leave some surprise for you. First thing I noticed is it is 2-colour. That's fully in colour, so we know that they can print in colour, but the actual assembly instructions appear to be in 2 colours, which is this bluey colour for painting instructions, I believe. D, matte silver, yep, that's your painting colours, and everything else is in black and white. Oh, well, there's a bit of grey there on the instrument panel. We've got is that 2 decals for the instrument panel and a couple of decals for the interior. That's nice. Some seat belts included as well. Good. Interesting to note that it doesn't say step 1 or 2, 3, etc. It's just here are some steps. But it seems fairly well presented. Quite large in some cases, and oh, that's it, there we go, the plane's done. We've got to the middle. It's a stapled booklet, quite glossy, and we've got to the middle and the plane is done. It's just that. Is that 6 steps? Yeah, 6 steps. You start with nothing, you assemble Hurricane. Done, easy. I mean, it's not the most complicated plane, and nice to know that they haven't overcomplicated it, but there we go. So we have colour scheme 1, which is the one on the box, Toilet G. That's a good joke if you get it. We have a note here, lake type cannon barrels, fuselage underbelly antenna, make from scratch. Oh, it's telling you to scratch build parts. I don't like that, but okay. At least it's telling you. Seymour, I'm guessing that is a link to the website. I will check it and report back shortly. I can't do it right now because my phone is busy. So I have scanned the QR code and it takes you to this web page. This is me actually looking at it on browser. Obviously I scanned it on my phone, but it gives you the web address on there as well. And it is for this particular product. So it goes essentially to the news blog of Arma Hobby, as you can see here. And it is this particular kit, 70036. It did automatically pop up in Polish, as this is a Polish company and a Polish domain. However, I have Google translated the page automatically, so if you see any spelling or grammar mistakes, then that is why. But you just have some articles here. There's a couple of reviews, and that is a beautiful Portuguese one, isn't it? Somebody's made something really stripy with this one. Most of these posts are, of course, somewhat out of date. So we've got 2021 is the newest one, but of course, this release is fairly old. So that's understandable. Either way, this is really nice. Now, is this going to interest everyone? No, but it's good to see a company offering something for those that it does interest. Also, talks about developing camouflage mask patterns. Rather nice. Anyway, back to the original unboxing. And the second scheme is as per the back of the box. So that is just the two. They are just the two that we get. There's no third scheme hidden inside or anything. We recommend buying more of our products. Well, of course you do. I mean, obviously you'd want to sell more products. Interesting to note that they're all 1/72. And I said it's interesting because it feels like they've tailored it. If I'd bought a 1/48 Arma Hobby Hurricane, I'd expect to see 1/48 kits in there because, logically speaking, if I've bought one 1/48, or in this case 1/72 aircraft, I'd be interested in others. Also interesting to note is that it's actually just 3 planes. Look, you've got the Fokker E5, the PZL P11 and the Hurricane Mark 1, and that's it, just 2 versions of each. And on the back we have the same image that we saw on the box, although it's flipped around, so scheme 1 is now at the bottom. Now I'm going to look at the decals. They were at least covered. Again, they're in the same bag as everything else, but they were at least wrapped in the instructions. There's the, oh god, that you see they're very, very glossy, but they don't feel too thick. They look in register to me. I mean, they're fairly simple because it's basic, a basic aircraft, just basic RAF markings. We've got the leading edges covered by decals as well, and the propeller blade tips. That's a rare luxury, although I usually don't put them on, but they're there if you need them. We have the seat belts. It tells you that they're printed by Techmod. There we go. I've used Techmod decals before. They're absolutely fine. Not the best, not the worst. Absolutely fine. The instrument panels, you see there are 2 of them. Don't know why they've done it as 2, but they have. They've got one with some yellow and red on and one with some white on. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. It's probably the first time I've come across an instrument panel in 2 decals rather than 1. And now onto the plastic parts. We have just 1 grey sprue. The plastic looks fairly matte, as in it's not very shiny, it's not very greasy, and it's because it has this texture on it. And the best way that I can highlight this is on this bottom wing piece. If I get the light just right, look at where parts connect. So in this case where the radiator does. If I catch it on the light, you see it shines. That's glossy and smooth, and the rest of it is quite matte. And oh yeah, look, the inside as well, very, very glossy on the inside, very matte on the outside. And yes, that is just because they've added this rather lovely texture. And in fact, this is the first time I've properly looked at this. That detail, those recessed panel lines are immaculate. We have the tiniest bit of flash down here. You see, I mean, it's so thin that I could probably scrape it off with my thumb. I'm not going to, but it's tiniest bit of flash. But otherwise, oh, and there's a bit on the spinner as well. Otherwise, pretty clear. The detail is fantastic. It really does look smart. We also have, I've just noticed it here, on the wheels, we've got a Dunlop logo. They are weighted wheels, meaning it sags at bulges at the bottom to represent the weight of the aircraft pushing down on it. We have an instrument panel there, which has raised detail on it, so if you don't want to use the decal, you can pick the detail out yourself, probably by dry brushing. The top of the wings has these rivets on, which are absolutely beautiful. So it's this really nice mix of raised and recessed detail. And I know some people don't like raised details when it comes to things like rivets, but it's more realistic. As long as you just don't have to sand, you're all right. But that looks wonderful. Oh yeah. And there's a fabric texture on the rear of the fuselage as well. Do we have... Yes, we do. We have some interior detail raised into the fuselage. Fantastic. Can I see any parts missing? There was nothing else loose in the bag, so I'm hoping everything is still here. We've got the cannons. No, we've got no parts missing, which is all good. I wouldn't expect it, but it was second-hand after all. Unopened, but still second-hand. There's a little Arma Hobby logo. Or not logo, it's just a text. Yeah. Yeah, other than... And there's here as well, so there's... the more I look at it, the more I see it, but there are quite a few parts that have a small amount of flash on. I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's not significant. Would be nice if it didn't have any flash, obviously, but it's consistently across a lot of the parts, so it's clearly going to need some sanding. We do have locating pins. So Arma Hobby are not, to the best of my knowledge, they're not a limited run manufacturer. They are definitely highly regarded, but I've never actually experienced them before. This is my first Arma Hobby kit, but they're not limited run. They don't make things to just have one pressing or pumping, tubing, one injection. They don't make things like that. I don't want to call them a serious brand because it kind of devalues limited run manufacturers, but they're not limited run is essentially what I'm trying to say. It's a long way of saying they are here to stay. And yes, this looks excellent. And finally, we have the clear parts. We have two canopies, which I'm assuming are for different variants of the Hurricane. It's fairly clear. Yeah, maybe a little foggy. It's notably raised frame, so it should be easy to make your own mask if you wish. Obviously, you can use the templates that they've included, but I probably won't. The landing lights here and the windshield. And yeah, it looks like a very simple kit, but not in a bad way. If all the detail is there, it doesn't matter if it's simple or not. As long as it builds into a nice kit and looks good at the end. And that is it. That is all we've got inside. So this is the entry on ScaleMates. You may have noticed or not noticed a tooling date anywhere on the box or the thingy, the sprues themselves. So according to ScaleMates, this is a 2019 tool, first released like this in an expert set. Arma Hobby do different releases of the same sort of kit. I don't actually know what the expert set has in it. Mine just says model kit. But this is it. As you can see here, released in 2020. There we go, released in 2020. Loads of different versions of the Hurricane have been released by Arma Hobby. Now to address the condition and how I purchased this. This kit was bought from Hattons, who were, past tense, a major retailer for modelling, mostly model railways, but they did other things as well, including second-hand kits. And this one was sold as factory sealed contents, fair box, and cost £7. So they acknowledged that the box was battered or fair, but it was factory sealed. Inside, yes. Outside, no. The box has always just been flappy like this. But the price of £7 I thought was reasonable. Looking around the marketplace today, you're looking at anywhere upwards of 15 quid for this. Some retailers, depending on the version you get, depending on the version you get and the retailer you get it from, you could be spending 20 quid, you could be spending 15, you could be spending 17. I've personally seen Arma Hobby in a local model shop for excess of £20. Now that shop does like to add a premium on things, so I wouldn't take that as a standard price for them, but hey, you yourself might also come across this kit for more than 20. So as you can see, for £7, I thought I was getting a good deal, and looking inside the box, I would agree. Bear in mind though that I purchased this kit in October 2022, so I've had it sitting in my stash for a little while. It is entirely possible that you won't be able to find this version for anywhere near as good a price as that anymore, so use your judgment as necessary. Interestingly, well, interesting to me, there were other kits that I bought from Hatton's when they were closing. They closed in early 2024, so I have subsequently bought kits from them, of which only one off the top of my head has actually made it to the channel. So there's still a couple out there from Hatton's, and if you stay tuned, you may see me feature them. But there we go, that was it. That was a quick look inside this rather simple kit. If you liked it but you don't subscribe, please hit the subscribe button because it helps the channel out and you can keep in touch with content as and when it is released. You can also hit the like if you liked it and the dislike if you disliked it, although getting this far and disliking it, that shows some strength of character there, son. You may also wish to consider becoming a channel member like the people on screen. These people contribute to the channel just to help keep my stash full and my motivation levels relatively high. You can join them if you like, and as a reward you're likely to know long before the general public when I have built a model and what is on my desk, because I do like to share updates with them as and when I can. In the meantime though, let me know your thoughts on this kit. Have you built it? Are you interested in it? Are you waiting for me to build it before you pull the trigger and purchase it? Let me know. I am always interested to engage in conversations in my comment section. But if I don't see you there, I will hopefully see you again in another video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.